Hello, this is the price action for yesterday, the EURUSD 3-minute chart. We had a bear range. So let's go up to the 15-minute chart to see how this formed. So the day prior, we were in a bigger trading range. We've had a big down, we've had a big up, as Al Brooks would say, and we've had a big down. So this is a trading range price action. And we've come into today in a smaller range. How do I know this isn't a trading range? Well, and how do I know this smaller trading range even exists? So what happened here was we had an overshoot, and then we headed on down. Wherever I see an overshoot, I'm always looking for a range. So I draw the top of the range, and to the lows is the bottom of the range. People going short here, they'll all get stopped out. Price will come back and take out their stop because it's in a trading range. After an overshoot, you're always looking for trading range or reversal. The only way it can continue is if this battle is won in here and we break out of here, maybe retest and we head on down. That can happen. We pull back in here and we fail and we come back down. But you'd never chase price after an overshoot because it's probably going to get vacuum tested back up and it's going to stop you out. Okay, so now we know that. So at the start, just before the start of the open, we've had a little overshoot here, and you can see it there, and then it creates this range here. And this is also a downtrend, so you should see that there's a channel forming, so you draw your channel lines on there. And then we've headed down quite strongly and at the start, and then we've sort of gone into even more of sort of rangy price action again down the bottom here once we've sort of overshot here. So we've overshot here and we've created this trading range, and it's sort of on like a slope there, so you've got to make sure you know your lows. Always be looking for where are the lows. Even though the channel is there, there's also these lows in play here, so there's another channel in there. You've got to keep your eye on the highs and lows of where you actually are at every point when you're trading. Okay, so at the start of the night, you should have seen this spike, hopefully. So you would be drawing your channel on even before the open, and then drawing your measured move target of the spike down. And we will also be looking for, we've got an overshoot here of this line here. We've had a strong move down and a strong move up, so this should really show you that there's probably a range from there to there. So draw in your trading range before the open. Look for any sort of other overshoots and draw in your little pockets that you see. Another overshoot, there's like a 2-bar range there, reverses, another range here. And we play these little ranges in there. And we also play failures. And for a trading range, of course, you want to sell high, buy low. That's the main gist. But we're really looking for who's winning the battle in these little areas. So at the start of the night, we start heading down and we create this little trading range here after the overshoot. So there's a battle going on. Will we go lower or higher? We get this doji bar for bar 1, but bar 2 sort of heads up. It's very bullish at the start, and then it fails. So you can put your limit order on there. You sort of want to wait. So when you put a limit order on, you're sort of waiting for price to go back up and come back down. So maybe you don't put your limit order on straight away. You're waiting for this to sort of come back up to your area. So it breaks that low. And then you're dropping your limit order on. It comes back, it gets you in where you want, and then you take the trade. It's only a scalp trade. Remember, we only trade down to the lows. We never trade further than the lows unless we're taking a swing trade. So at the start of the night, if you did enter here and you decided to hold for the 3 presses along this big channel, you can do that and keep holding, but that's a swing trade. It's a different type of trade. You've got to have a wide stop. Okay, so we take that trade there down to the lows just for a scalp, and then we're in a trading range. So we've overshot now. Not only have we overshot this micro channel line, which you can see there, we've also overshot the bigger channel. So this creates this range here. So when this happens, we've overshot here. We're sort of looking for the overshoot area and the first pullback. How far does this pull back? It pulls back all the way to here. So that's the top of our range, and you can see that it's just like down, up, down. We can then take a second attempt up here because we're rejecting off resistance here. We can scalp back to the EMA at this point, but you've got to buy in very low, and you've got to drop your limit order in, and this will come back, tick back, and take you back. I don't always trade all the way to the top. I'll usually just take out a scalp. And then we create this channel up, and that fails. So we love when that fails. So when you get that channel pattern, it fails at the top of the range. That's where you want to be. You're dropping in your limit order. So you want it to break these lows first of this doji bar, and then you want to drop in your limit order, and hopefully price comes back and you get filled, and you're just trading it down to the bottom. Then got this triple test down the bottom here. So it's rejected off 3 times along this resistance here, in the bottom of the range. So you can go long there. You have to wait for all of this, but this is sort of one of those trades where you're just holding on. You've got to put your wide stop outside and hold. You're only taking a scalp. So really you're going for 1 bar. So it's sort of a 1-to-1 ratio for your risk to reward in these sort of areas. So it is dangerous. Anyway, so we start channeling up again, and we sort of have a battle in here, and the battle is won here. So it sort of breaks above the highs, and anyway, we end up hitting the top of the range. We create this higher high double top, and we reverse back down again, rejecting off the bottom and channeling back up. This trade I really like. There's a lot of resistance around here. It's our 4th hit up here. We're breaking out of the channel for the first time, and it's clearly a channel, and it fails there. But getting your limit order on may be a bit difficult. It may not come back. So what you're waiting for is for this bar to break the low of this doji bar that goes below this line. So that's a failure there. But I think it's going to be very hard to get on that trade. But that is a good swing trade as well. I think that's a really nice swing trade just to hold on to the end of the night. Yeah. So because you've got a lot of room. So look at the room there. You're not on the other side of the channel. You're not here, right on the edge. You're right at the edge of the channel. So there, your better swing entries. Your stop is not even close to be getting hit. It's getting lower lows. You can take the lower high if you don't get in there, but you still, if you want to swing it, you got to put your stop pretty high up, like up here, and hold. So you get the lower high. You can take that trade down to the lows. And then we sort of break out here this time. A lot of times after 3-4 touches on either side of a range or a channel, there's a breakout attempt. So we get the breakout here, and you can take that breakout retest. So it breaks out quite strongly, and it sort of overshoots. So there is another little pocket in there. So we should draw that in. There's a battle going on here because of the overshoot. See how it overshoots? And then we just draw back to the pullback, and then we see it try to reattempt to go back up, and then that fails. Once that fails again, it's going to go lower. But you've got to make sure you can see the lows. So at this point, you should be able to see these diagonal lows. A lot of times I'll run my 15-minute chart on the side here. So I'll run my 15-minute chart on my trading time frame, and I'll be looking at it, and it gives me sometimes a clearer picture of the lows of the bigger time frame. And that's really helpful. So even though you're in this bigger channel, there is lows getting rejected on down here. I'm a big fan of the channel tilt, but because we're still making matching highs up here, it's very hard to tilt the channel. If these were lower highs, I could tilt this channel down, but it just doesn't work in this circumstance. Okay, so we head on up, and we get 3 touches along here. Al Brooks is always looking for those 3 touches. I do the same thing because I learned that from him, but he calls them wedges. So this also overshoots here. It's at the edge of the channel line. It's at the midline of our range. There's a lot of resistance there. It's also a higher high double top. There's a lot of good things about this trade. It is at the end of the night, so maybe just for a scalp, or you can swing it down to the lows. I always mark my swing trades as yellow, the safest swing trade. But these are usually just scalps. You can scalp out and hold if you believe that you've got room to the lows. And that allows us these 3 touches. It does break out of this other channel that's formed here. And we head down to bar 100. But the main thing for trading ranges, it really is selling high and buying low. So as long as you get in on the right areas, you're probably going to be okay as long as you understand you're in a trading range. But it is good to look for the correct setups and understand what's going on the chart. You're just going to have better entries, and you'll have more understanding of what's going on. And spending time drawing all these lines and trying to get it correct while you're trading, it will keep you focused. and make you look for the setups. So you won't be looking for setups until you actually see the failure. You see the failure. Yeah, you see the overshoot here, and it's a second attempt up. In trading ranges, it's better to go for that second attempt always. That's a third attempt up, so those are your better entries. Yeah, that's it.